Hi everyone, Katie Sutton here, intuitive channel and founder of Zen Within Academy, live with your October 2021 energy update. I've got 4 themes to share with you this month. The first is balance and equilibrium. The second is books closing. And the third is the new masculine. And fourth is living your truth. So stay tuned for the rest of your October 2021 energy update. Hi everybody, I hope you had a really wonderful September. We had a lot of energies clearing out in September. It was a big month for many of us. A lot of things really coming to the surface to be cleared and released. And a lot of re-articulation of our value and how we see ourselves in the month of September. So here we are in October, and we are squarely in the middle of a Mercury retrograde period at the beginning of October. And I always look at Mercury retrograde as an interesting time, and this one will be no different. It always brings some stuff to the surface. And so a lot of the themes this month, or at least the first couple of themes, are going to be affected by these Mercury retrograde energies. So the first theme that I want to talk with you about is this idea of balance and equilibrium. And you know, we've got Libra energy this month as we move into October, and Libra is all about balance. And the way that I'm seeing this show up most frequently as I'm working with clients and in my own life experience is that this balance and equilibrium is really coming into our relationships. So we're going to be looking a lot at how our energy flows, meaning how much is outward versus how much is inward. And, you know, as we move here in the Northern Hemisphere, at least, into the fall and winter months, there's a natural inclination to want to turn inward more. And that's no different this year, right? That's the same energies that we come into every fall and winter. But this month, what I'm seeing is that this idea of balance and equilibriums in our relationship is really, really important because we've got kind of this opportunity now to really close out big patterns, and that's the second theme that I'm going to talk about in just a second. And because that's here, there may be some finality to these relationship decisions. There may be some relationships that are really coming to a close that you've been lingering in for a while, or there may be a complete restructuring of your relationship landscape this month. And it may be that some of the things that are happening for you is that you're clearing really big patterns, and as you clear those really big patterns, all of the relationships that you're in need to be restructured and rebalanced. And internally, what that looks like is us changing our balance in our masculine and feminine energies again. We're still working on that this year. And, you know, one of the big themes of the whole year is this idea of autonomy versus community. And we're continuing to work that in our relationships as we're re-engaging with them in new ways, with new boundaries after COVID. And so as we move into the second theme, this idea of books closing, books coming to an end, I want to talk about that in relationship to this balance and equilibrium piece, right? So when we find new balance and when we find new equilibrium in our lives, we move into this place where there are certain things that close out forever. And, you know, sometimes we go through parts of our life where we close out a chapter, meaning there's something that we've been working on, a growth period that we've been moving through, and it just comes to an end. Well, what I'm seeing this month is that it's not just chapters closing, we've got whole books closing out right now. These are almost releases of entire identities, entire ways of being that are just so out of alignment with us now that the whole thing has to be scrapped, and we have a clean slate coming in, a blank page, a blank book being ready to be rewritten. And that's exciting and also really scary. I'm noticing with my clients that, you know, they've released so much, they've let go of so many things in their life that are not in alignment, and they're kind of in this holding pattern, waiting for what's going to come in and fill that space. And sometimes we get a little antsy when we have a blank page to fill. We get a little anxious, we get a little nervous. And so it's going to be really important with this second theme of books closing that we are really patient with ourselves, that we really take time to honor these endings, honor these things that are no longer going to be a part of our experience, so that as we make space for the new to come in, that we're not just trying to recreate our past, right? We're not trying to manifest from where we were before. So really paying attention as these books close to that clean slate that is being provided to us is going to be really important. So that's kind of our second theme here. And the third theme kind of goes a bit with the balance and equilibrium. I mentioned the masculine and feminine coming into balance. Well, I'm starting to become aware of this frequency that I'm calling the new masculine, right? You could call it the divine masculine if you want, but that already has some connotations with it. So I've been working a lot with people on their balance in their sacral chakras and their creative centers. And I'm finding that I can easily get them into working with their feminine. They understand the characteristics of the feminine. They're able to anchor into that. But when we start to channel in healed masculine energy, they're kind of at a loss. They don't know what that feels like. They don't know how to describe it. They don't know how they're experiencing it. And it's almost like there's this void energy there. And so I'm starting to feel this new masculine energy come in. And it's very, very different than the masculine that we're all familiar with. The masculine that we're all familiar with now has created many of the structures that exist on our planet today. And so as this new masculine is anchoring more and more, especially this month, we're going to start to feel its solidity in our fields now. And the new masculine, well, it's very different. And the only way to really describe that to you is to compare it to the old masculine. So let me start with that. So the old masculine is very rigid, very structured, very confining, very constricting, very controlled. Okay? There's not a lot of flowing free form in that old masculine energy. The new masculine, as it's anchoring, is very much able to adapt to the changing feminine. And so if we think about this on the grand scale of what's happening on our planet, as this new masculine energy anchors, it's here to help us frame up or anchor in the new earth paradigm. And the new earth paradigm requires us to be somewhat flexible, because there's so much that's falling away. These books are closing, right? Major things are leaving, major structures are falling, and it's creating a little bit of chaos because we don't have anything yet new to lean into. So this new masculine is arriving saying, I can bring form and function to the formless, to these ideas, these big visions that we've had for some time. They're starting to take form, but we still have to be somewhat flexible in how they anchor on this planet because so much is still changing. We are not done with our ascension process into the fifth dimensional frequency. So much is still changing. So this new masculine is coming in and saying, okay, feminine, I've got you. I see what you're creating. I see what you're visioning. And I also see that I need to continue to be flexible because you're still kind of figuring it out. And so you might experience this new masculine energy within your body, within your mind, right? Those are those two parts of our being that are masculine in nature, the mental body and the physical body. So you might start to feel more flexible in your physical body, more vital in your physical body, more desire to be in that place of exploration in your physical body. And in your mind, you might start to feel different in your mental body. There's been a lot of brain fog. That's been a big question that people have been saying to me, is like, why do I have so much brain fog? There's been a lot of brain fog because we've been in this place of analysis paralysis. We don't know where to go next. That's going to start to clear out, and we're going to start to bring in more clarity into the mental body through this new masculine energy. So this is a very esoteric thing for me to talk about. It is not something that we've had on this planet before, so this is a new energy coming in. And I find it quite exciting. It's been needed, it's necessary, and it's not going to be so confining as what we've experienced in the past. And so that takes me to the fourth theme. And this is the most important of the month, okay? So the fourth theme is living your truth. And I almost called this embodying your truth, but that didn't feel like strong enough of a word, right? They wanted me to shift it to living your truth. And in order for us to claim this new masculine and use it to anchor the new earth and bring our visions into reality, we have to be very diligent day to day that we are living our truth. Meaning anything that we want to see different in the world. Let's say we want the education system to look different, or we want the government to look different, or we want the financial system to look different, we want our job to look differently. Every decision that we make, every word that we use, every intention that we put out there, every relationship that we anchor into needs to be aligned with that vision that we have, right? We're getting to the point now, my guides called it put up or shut up time, where, you know, this new balance and equilibrium is coming in. These books are closing out. The slate is being cleaned. We've got the new masculine anchoring. We're to the point now where every decision we make, we need to be really diligent in making sure that it's in alignment with where we want to go, not where we came from. And this is probably the single most important thing that you can do to hold your vibration, right? Because so much of that balance and equilibrium energy is about us learning to hold our vibration when things around us are changing. Well, in order to do that, everything that you want in your life, you need to keep making decisions in that vein. And so when you're having conversation with somebody, and let's say you want a new job, don't complain about the job that you're in. Talk about where you're going. Talk about what you're creating. Talk about what you're visioning. Start living your truth now, right? Bring it into the present moment. For so long, so many of us have been envisioning this future state of where we want to get to be and where we see the earth moving to. The time is now. Right? It's time to bring this into the present moment. And the only way that we can do that is by anchoring it into each moment through our decisions, our words, our intentions, and the situations that we choose to continue to engage in. So if there's something that's not in alignment with you this month, or something that's not in alignment with you, this is the month for you to let it go. Okay? This is the month to say, all right, I'm not taking into the fourth quarter of this year, which is going to be a very important time period for manifestation. I'm not taking anything with me that's not in alignment. I'm letting this go now. And consciously choosing that in every moment, whenever you can. Now, as I say this, what I don't want you to do is drop into perfection energy, right? So don't be afraid. Don't be so in perfection energy that you don't live. And one of the most important ways that we can live our truth is to live our joy. So if there's something that brings you joy, doing more of that whenever you can. Anchoring that in as your intention of how you want to walk through your world, through your daily life, by being in that state of joy. So this theme of living your truth is super, super important. We're doing a lot of work to really anchor into where we want to be. Make sure all of your choices align with that, right? Everything that you're choosing, make sure it aligns with that. So those are our 4 themes this month. Lots of energy clearing, okay? Lots of stuff happening, lots of shifts, lots of internal subtle shifts that you're going to feel and notice on many different levels. That's going to create this potential as you move into the later part of October and into November and December, where we've got a lot of energy coming in, a lot of energy portals coming, that's going to help you really catapult into the next year. Okay, so set yourself up right now by living your truth and coming into balance, closing out these chapters and anchoring this new masculine energy. So that's my update for the month of October. I hope you have an amazing month. Take it easy with these retrograde energies. This is a great time to finish out things, close out projects, get things done that have been on your list for a really long time. We're in those energies through the first half of October. And on October 10th, I'll be doing a live channel healing for the 1010 energy portal. And I believe that what's going to come in for that is a lot of support on this balance and equilibrium piece. I'm finding that coming up a lot in session. So I suspect that that's what I'm going to be talking about in that channeling, but we'll see what the guides bring in. We'll be doing some sound healing in that as well. That's both in person in Lancaster, South Carolina, and then there's a Zoom option available for that. And then on October 13th, we're going to be working with this idea of living your truth in our healing circle. That's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And so we'll be clearing out anywhere where you're in fear of anchoring into your choices and owning them, right? Courageously owning them, even if they're different than everybody else in your family, different than everybody around you, like really being able to, in the adult self, anchor into that. And some of you might remember last month we worked on working with the courageous inner child. Now we're going to bring this into the adult realm so that the choices you make as an adult, you can really be in alignment with them and be anchored into your truth. Okay? So I hope to see you at one of those events, one or both of those events, and I will see you again soon with another YouTube update. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my page if you enjoy these updates. Bye. Thank you.